Tom's got. Better start that again.
Jump the gun.
Sure, Emerald edit it for me nicely. Tom, just really want to talk about Talent Match today. Obviously, it's like a
Yep.
business you've set up. You've had a long and successful career in recruitment, so you're not coming at it from a non-knowledge, just tech side of it. And I think you've obviously seen things in action, how they work, some of the
Yeah.
bottlenecks and some of the blockers that we face on a regular basis. So just really wanted to, firstly, if you can give me an overview of Talent Match and how you do your AI matching and how you just kind of bring the recruiter to the table so much quicker with their clients than just doing it the standard way that we do it at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the concept kind of similar to what you just said. So the concept came from over 20 years of working in recruitment and feeling as though there was a lack of innovation in the industry. You know, a lot of the processes have been the same for many, many years. And I think with the introduction of AI, everybody's kind of realized that there needs to be innovation, there needs to be a kind of a transition, and we were quite early in that. So we started in sort of the idea, if you like, was 23. I built the
Mhm.
hub, which was a consumer platform helping job searchers. That was 23 into 24. We realized that the consumer market was bloody hard and wasn't going to make a lot of money unless you threw a lot of money at it.
Mhm.
So we pivoted into B2B, and that was when Talent Match was born, which was kind of January 25, but officially launched in May, so just over 12 months ago. And the concept really was to create an intelligence layer in the CRMs. So when we first launched it, we had one product, which was the what we call intelligent qualification, which was the inbound application qualification. And it was one of those, you know, when I mean, you've probably done this yourself. You build something and think it's brilliant, and actually it's really shit. And everybody goes, that doesn't work, and that doesn't integrate. We don't have a new platform, and you go, shit, okay, I missed the point there completely. So we kind of went back to the drawing board, and we made it so it was fully integratable into the workflow of recruiters, and that was a big um, kind of breakthrough moment for us, having it fully embedded, fully integrated. So there was no transition, there was no adoption, there was no changing platforms. I mean, you know what it's like, and I know what it's like. Trying to get recruiters to use tools generally is quite
Mhm.
difficult.
Yeah.
Trying to get them to change from a tool that they've been using for God knows how long is even harder. So we kind of had that breakthrough moment. Let's fully integrate it into any CRM, and we instantly make the CRM more intelligent. And that was just with IQ. We then realized that actually lots of companies weren't using adverts or didn't need adverts. A lot of them wanted um, access to their existing database. Well, how can we utilize our existing database? So we then built Reactivate. Reactivate sits inside the existing database. It searches within milliseconds and it resurfaces the best 50 candidates from your existing database as soon as you add a job. And that again was another breakthrough moment. Everyone went, this is brilliant. You know, suddenly we've got this intelligence within our existing database. We can do data hygiene checks. We can do live candidate updates. So it becomes a live ecosystem. Then we went, okay, we've now got inbound application. We've got existing database. Now we need to go external. So we're now in the process of launching Discovery, which is an external search capability. We can go out, we can access 800 million profiles. We could bring in 200 fully qualified, fully aligned profiles, full details, contact details. We can outreach, all of that just by adding a job. So we've now got this operating system. So we've got this kind of three pillar intelligent operating system. We plug it straight into your CRM, instantly makes your CRM more intelligent. And that was a goal that we kind of didn't set out to do, but over that kind of period of evolution, we've now built this operating system that completely handles all the applicant, all the candidate sources.
So you're sitting kind of you're the jam in a sandwich. You're sitting between the ATS, the CRM, the job boards, and what you can
Yeah,
pull down from everywhere else. And
yeah,
so, general thoughts, you'd look at that and say, well, okay, lots of CVs, lots of volume. Sounds like enterprise clients, but this obviously works at the small end as well. So this will work for any recruiter. It's not you don't have
yeah.
someone who's dealing with thousands of candidates and
No,
thousands of jobs. It works for all sizes.
Anybody, yeah. So we've got some customers that maybe have 500 applications coming in. They might
Mhm.
have an existing database of a few thousand. They might use LinkedIn Recruiter. They might have 4 or 5 licenses. So you look at that and go, well, that's quite a small business potentially. There's not huge demand there, but this still works for them. So any application coming in, they don't have to review applications. There's an instant shortlist. The reactivate one, instantly, they don't have to search their database. There's no Boolean searches. It just grabs any profile that matches that job, surfaces it. Everything we do is contextual as well. That's the big difference for us over a lot of the competitors. We've actually built our own large language model, and we've got
Mhm.
our own proprietary tech, our own architecture. So everything we do is auditable, explainable, glass box AI. You can see the context, the reasoning, the logic, the rationale. We've got 50 agents that sit in our platform. They do external research, so they're verifying everything. So everything we're doing is saving the recruiter time. Doesn't matter how big, how small, you're saving time. You don't need to research anything. You don't need to look at anything. It just does it for you.
So all the being able to audit, go back through the information, is it that kind of, does that offer protection now with some of those new AI rules that
Yeah,
have
the
come?
compliances, the regulations, all of that. So we built it. And again, I'd love to say this was by intent. It wasn't. It was purely by accident. We built it in a way that was completely transparent because for me, that was how I operate. I always want to know the facts, the figures, the detail. I never like to assume anything. So I built it in that way, but it just so happened that was how the compliance and the AI regulations wanted it to work as well. So
Mm.
everything had to be explainable, everything had to be auditable. You have to be able to prove why somebody has scored a 60% match or somebody has scored a 10% match. You have to be able to demonstrate that should anybody challenge that. And so we built it that way, which is great. It means we adhere to all the regulations and the compliances. And but that also helps the recruiters because we can take all that information on the platform and you can present that to a customer, and it looks like you've done this incredible screening job. You
Mm.
haven't. You've just added a job and it's the system's done it for you. The agents have kicked in and done all the research and done all the qualification, but you can present it in a way that is so insightful, so detailed. It looks like you've done this incredible qualification.
So it gives you all the efficacy behind the candidate, why you presented them. I suppose if
Yeah.
you were in retained searches or you're going out
Yeah.
to it for very tough, hard to find individuals you want to present, how much you've actually done. I didn't just find Dean and present
Yeah.
you got the job because a lot of the time you do find recruiters do a fantastic job, but they're in a position where they've got to explain what they've done in that funnel, and you'd be able to
Yeah.
do all of that and then give them that audit trail as well.
Yeah, we've got so all of the intelligence. So we've got kind of different elements of the intelligence. You've got the summary, which is almost like an overview of the candidate. So it's giving the recruiter direction. It will say things like proceed or proceed with caution because of this, this, and this. You'll then have what we call between the lines. Between the lines is kind of that hidden information that may not be obvious. So it might say, look, based on these skills, this person's probably also got these skills as well as a secondary skill set. And there's actually evidence of this secondary skill set in this project and this particular role. We've then got kind of missing elements so we can spot anything that might be missing. Because we've got these agents working in the platform, they're able to look at companies and they're able to research companies for project specific. So, for example, we had one recently where somebody was looking for a workday consultant and they wanted somebody that had experience implementing financials. Now, there was nothing on this person's CV about financials, but what our system did was research the companies that this person has been a workday consultant at. It looked for information on the internet around workday financials projects within those companies and then pulled that information back and said, well, these guys have implemented Workday financials. So there's every chance that this consultant was experienced in that particular module or that project. So it does that reinforcement that you just can't do because we've got the agents doing it and it's doing it instantaneously.
So that would give me, so I'm looking for that and I want to find out about financials, but it give me a percentage. There's this percentage chance that Dean has done financials.
Yeah.
It prompts me as a consultant to ask the right questions, get the right information, and
Well,
then
it goes a step further than that. It actually provides you with the question.
mm,
So with some of the information we provide, you've got TM summary, so you get the overview. You've got TM intelligence, which is we kind of outline the must-haves, and then our system looks for the evidence of that person having the must-haves. If there's what we call a partial match, so somebody's like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10, it will say, like you said, we think this, and this, but we can't verify it. If you ask this question, you'll be able to verify that information. So it
Mm.
gives the recruiter the actual question to go and probe to get that information. So it's really making it simple for people.
That's nice. So, even when I'm talking to a client and I'm selling someone in, I'm sitting there looking at their scoring mechanisms.
Yeah,
I've got a check on their background and the efficacy of what
yeah,
they've worked on. So,
yeah,
I suppose the general theme is, a consultant, a recruiter, you'd feel more comfortable and confident that you've got the right
yeah.
person.
Yeah, you do. And I think the intelligence that we've got, and we've been able to do this because we've got our own LLM. One of the challenges that a lot of competitor companies to ours face is they're using open source AI. With every open source AI request, you're paying an AI credit.
Mm.
And that was the problem we ran into early on was we were really trying to get detail and depth and intelligence. But every time we were doing that, we were incurring a huge cost. So
Mm.
every time we made a request to AI, we had an AI credit, and the AI credits are 10 cents, 13 cents per credit. So for us then to give that level of information to the customer meant a massive cost to the customer. So we went and built our own architecture, our own LLM. All the heavy lifting is done through our LLM. We still use bits of OpenAI to kind of top and tail at the kind of the front end, but the heavy lifting is done for our LLM. It's removed a lot of that cost, which enables us to go deeper, more intelligent, more detail, more depth, more analysis. And that again was a real breakthrough for us because it meant we could come away from this kind of base level qualification. You see some of these systems and they go, oh, yeah, this person's a 60% because they've got Workday. And that's the level of depth. We
Mm.
go, they've got Workday because they've worked in this project, they've done this, they've been involved in this implementation, they've worked at this company that's implemented Workday, you know, detail, detail, detail all the way through it. And I'd say that was achievable because we ended up building our own LLM, which was bloody expensive and bloody hard work, but we've
Yeah.
done it.
And it learns as you go along. I suppose that it's a
Self-training all the time,
constant.
yeah. So every customer has their own virtual AWS,
Mm.
and their own virtual AWS is always training and always teaching. So specific customers can select, for example, reactivate our existing database model. We will resurface the best 50 people that match that job. Now, a consultant might go, okay, that's great, but I know Pete, and Pete's pretty good. I want to put Pete in this list. They'll add
Mm.
Pete in that list, and he might score 40% for whatever reason. But the recruiter's going, I know he's done this, and I know he's done that. That isn't on the CV. They can
Mm.
explain that, and that trains the LLM. So they can explain why they've put Pete into that list. The LLM will remember that. So the next time a similar job comes up, Pete will come up.
So per company, it's kind of an individualized learning model per company
Yeah,
for different niches, different sectors, different geographies,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. They're actually, the more they use it, the better it becomes for them.
Yeah, so they've got their own vector databases, they've got their own GPU servers, they've got their own virtual AWS. So everything they're doing is specific to them. It's all secure, it's all encrypted. So all of that education, as you say, that training, posting jobs, adding jobs to the CRM, it remembers that every time, and it will always be thinking ahead. And it's getting smarter and smarter with more data coming in. We've got quite a cool tool as part of that Reactivate product. So we've got a chat bot basically. There's two things. It's support, so it gives you tech support on how to use the platform. But we've also got what we call talk to tally. Talk to tally is you can talk to your database. So you
Mm.
can ask questions to your database. So you can say, for example, how many total candidates have we got? It will come back, say 300,000. Okay, how many of them are Workday financials? Oh, okay, 20,000. Okay, how many of them are based in London? 500. Who's my best Workday financials person in London? Oh, it's Pete. Straight away to that, you can add him to a job, you can message him. So you've got the ability to have that direct interaction with your database as well, which again is self-training.
Yeah. And I think in the past where people talked about AI, they haven't gone down that database route, have they?
No.
It's almost like meta tagging and
Well,
Boolean. whatever else. And you really need that, don't you, to have the AI analyze it in the right way.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's two levels of AI. I feel
Mm,
like there's this kind of base level that everyone's using, ChatGPT, and sticking a few applications on top of it. And then there's building your proper infrastructure. And originally, originally we went down the route of we'll stick a few applications on top of OpenAI and off we go.
mm,
The challenge with that is it doesn't do enough for the customer. Um, these days, people are building agents through Claude and whatever else. So you kind of go, well, what are they getting from us that's any different to doing that? Okay, there
mm,
might be some compliance issues and regulatory issues with the Claude stuff, but ultimately it's the same principle. And from a business perspective as well, it's not defensible. So
mm,
anybody could copy that. You could go and go, well, I'll just go and get ChatGPT and I'll put a few application layers on. I'll probably do the same thing. So by going with the LLM and building your infrastructure and building that whole architecture piece, number one, from a business, it's defensible. Number two, there's a huge value in what we've built and what we've got. You've then got the unique selling points, which are we can go deeper, we can go further. We've got more context, we've got more analysis, so the customer's getting more information. It's cheaper than it would be if somebody went down the route of using just OpenAI because the credits have completely gone and you're just then using the infrastructure cost. So there's so many benefits of doing it. It's a big investment to do it, and that's why people don't do it.
mm.
But the gains and the rewards for the customer and for us are considerable if you do it, if you do it right.
No, no, I get that. It sounds brilliant. I suppose final question for me is you've done that. You've brought these three parts of this platform in together. What's in the pipeline for the roadmap?
So Discovery is finishing. So Discovery launches in about 2 weeks. And I'm excited by that because Discovery is going to be a competitor to LinkedIn Recruiter. So
Mhm.
Discovery is the external search. You add a job, 200 profiles come in within seconds, fully matched, fully aligned, fully contextualized, full contact details. That will be a competitor to LinkedIn Recruiter. We've got about 120, 150 agencies on the waiting list for that product already. That is exciting. And I think we're going to see a real transition there with people using that and not using LinkedIn Recruiter as much. There'll be a period of kind of, we'll do a bit of that, do a bit of that. But I think that'll become the go-to tool for agencies. And if you think about it from just adding a job on your CRM, which is all you have to do, you've then got these three pillars at work. So I'm excited by that. The future pipeline is business development, it's revenue generation. So where we've got Reactivate, the way Reactivate works is we ingest the candidate data into our architecture. So we take all of your candidate data, notes, call logs, attachments, CVs, we ingest that into our architecture. Now, that gives us the ability to do more than just matching candidates. We can actually look at candidates and go, well, what other companies are they relevant to? What other companies would they fit? We can also look at people that are coming in from an application route that are leaving the same companies. And we can start to then do research into those companies. Well, why are people leaving those companies? Is there a merger? Is there an acquisition? Is there a takeover? Is there a liquidation? We can start to look at those things. We can also bring in signals of hiring activity from your existing companies and start to make people aware of hiring signals. And we can start to match candidates and companies and opportunities long before people are aware of them and start to present leads to the consultants. So that's kind of where we want to get it to. And again, it's still keeping this intelligence mentality, it's keeping this kind of intelligence layer, but it's going from delivery to business development.
So from reactive to proactive, I
Yeah,
suppose.
and there's a lot we can do with it. You know, we can start to see people that are moving. We can
Mm.
start to see somebody's been promoted. We can pull all those signals in, create analysis, and there's a load of leads. Go and follow them up. You know, here's the leads every day. Go and follow them up. Or we could do it for you. We can automate speculative CV send outs to potential customers because of the signals that we've picked up on. So that's in the kind of the brain tank already, if you like, and that's going to be our development once Discovery's gone live.
Sounds exciting. So I suppose the last thing then, anything you want to add, anything you haven't covered today that the RDLC members need to know about?
Um,
Sure.
I mean, the RDLC members get a discount, which is great. So they get, I think it's a 20% discount for being an RDLC member. Everything we do, Talent Match IQ, Reactivate, Discovery, We offer everybody a 3-month paid pilot with 100% money back guarantee. That's how confident we are in the product. So everybody removes that risk. If you don't like it for 3 months, we'll give you the money back. So far, we haven't had anybody that wants their money back. We did very early on because it was crap.
Mm.
Now we haven't, which is great. That's testament to what we're doing. So yeah, look, price point is good. It's a usage-based price point. There's none of this licenses, seats. It's all based on usage. So prices are customized for the individuals.
Mm.
3-month paid pilot, 100% money back guarantee, and 20% discount for the RDLC members. So hopefully we're making it attractive and easy for people to use.
Sounds fantastic. It sounds like a no-brainer, and we'll push it as that. I mean, 3 months money back guarantee. Why wouldn't you give it a go? And I think after this, when we put this on the group, you'll have all your contact details. We'll make sure that
Yeah.
everyone's got your information. We're going to see you at an event very soon, so we're going to get ready.
Yeah, we're gonna sponsor that. We want to be the headline sponsor of that as well, so everybody gets a chance to see it and understand it and talk to me, talk to whoever, and hopefully get using it.
That'd be brilliant. All right, Tom. Well, look, I'll see you at the event, which I'm looking forward to, and we'll make sure everyone's got your details. But I'm sure that you'll be absolutely swamped after the event with people wanting to sign up, especially if your money back guarantee. But
Yeah. Well, it shows our confidence. It shows our trust in it.
yeah.
As I say, nobody yet has asked for their money back, which is great. So that's testament to what we're doing.
Fantastic. All right, Tom. I will see you at the event very soon.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. There you go. Emma.